On a night when Shohei Ohtani blew our minds again by starting his own 50-50 club, how is it possible that he is not impressed? Hitting 6 for 6 with 3 home runs, 10 RBI, 2 doubles, scoring 2 runs, and swiping 2 bases, Shohei had achieved a stat line that no one had ever achieved before, with only 5 other people having reached 40-40, and he alone at 50-50. He has a smile on his face, but he's actually thinking, meh. You see, if you know Shohei, you'd know that that's just his mentality. He's no Alex Rodriguez trying to stat pad, and he's not using steroids like Barry Bonds. No, Shohei Ohtani is not impressed with 50-50 because there are many more important things on his mind. But what can Shohei possibly care about more than 50-50? First, he can get back to doing the one thing he hasn't been able to do. After months spent rehabbing his arm following a second Tommy John surgery, Shohei wants to get back on the mound. With all eyes on his offensive greatness, why would that matter now? Well, with starter Tyler Glasnow hopelessly injured and breakout rookie Gavin Stone very unlikely, the Dodgers have very little depth after Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Is Clayton Kershaw ever going to be back? Even if he is, would the Dodgers want his postseason production in pivotal games? And Yamamoto isn't even completely back yet, only reaching 72 pitches last game. There's hope that he will be after a couple of encouraging starts and a stellar WBC. Still, there are no guarantees. So on the day after he became the 6th 40-40 player in MLB history, what did Shohei do? Was he sipping champagne, relaxing, and strutting? No. Shohei was putting in work. He was back on the mound. Every other day since, he has increased his bullpen sessions, and now he's up to 25 pitches and hitting 93 miles per hour. Watching Shohei complete what pitching coach Mark Prior called a seamless pitching rehab, even his manager Dave Roberts hasn't ruled out the possibility that he could pitch in the postseason. What is that possibility? Not zero, according to the skipper. Imagine what that could do for the Dodgers' postseason chances. Having a former All-Star and Cy Young finalist pitcher joining the pitching stable, even as a reliever, and maybe even as a starter? Getting a chance to help the team in the playoffs? That's definitely more important than 50-50, and his actions proved it. But beyond getting back to pitching, there's something else Shohei is thinking about. Shohei knew he needed to have the greatest offensive season as a DH to make it back to the one measuring award that would define his place as the best baseball player of that season, the Most Valuable Player Award. He knew the 40-40 and 50-50 achievements would give him a strong nod for another MVP. And if he could pitch even in relief this regular season, he could stifle the grumblings of voters who felt the award should only go to players who play in the field. However, since becoming 2-time unanimous MVP, winning another one is not the end-all goal for Shohei. With Barry Bonds at 7 MVPs, he's got to win 5 more. And with 8, Shohei would finally feel comfortable with the word people keep referring to him as, the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. As a two-way phenom, he wants there to be no question that he is the best, because he can do it all. But let's just say he had never reached 50-50. Or let's say he had to give it up. If he had to choose between pitching or hitting, if he were barely above a league average player, and if he had no other accolades to his name, it wouldn't matter to Shohei. What? How could that be? Did you watch his interview after he hit 40-40? There was one word he kept using in that interview that is the most important thing he cares about. The word katsu is Japanese for winning. How many times did he mention winning as the most important thing in the 40-40 interview? 4 times. And yes, he mentioned winning in the playoffs and winning the World Series, something he had not even sniffed through his time with the Angels. No doubt, Shohei is laser focused on winning in the playoffs with the Dodgers. And at the post-game interview on MLB Tonight,
Ohtani, my goodness, man. I'm here with Harold Reynolds.
Greg Amsinger asked Shohei about the greatest baseball day of his career. Greg asked if this accomplishment was greater than winning the World Baseball Classic against Mike Trout. True to his humble character, Shohei was diplomatic and remarked that getting to 50-50 gave him about the same level of happiness as winning the WBC. But close observation of his facial expressions after reaching those achievements show they were not on the same level. Yes, Shohei was happy to reach the 50-50 club. Look at him yell, "Come on!" In comparison, look back to the World Baseball Classic. That Japanese squad went undefeated with 7 wins. Shohei absolutely did his part to help them win, slashing .435, .606, and .739 with 4 doubles, a home run, and 10 walks. And on the mound, he had a .186 ERA and made the All-WBC team as both a hitter and a pitcher. Check out the reaction to the epic final out against Mike Trout. He threw off his hat and glove. He let out a primal scream. Can you really tell me 50-50 is more important than winning? During his 50-50 post-game interview, Shohei reiterated the joy of making the postseason. His dream is still to win a World Series. He wants to be defined by winning, and his actions show it off the field as well. Look back to when he played for the Nippon Ham Fighters and won the 2016 Japan Series. Although he was already making $2 million a year in salary, he lived humbly. Not in the flashy way that other guys making millions do, buying supercars, wearing designer clothes and expensive watches. Instead, he continued living in the team dorms and made do with a $1,000 allowance a month distributed by his mother. His aim was to improve as a baseball player. Relatedly, look back to the video titled 10 Things Shohei Can't Live Without. GQ has interviewed dozens of athletes about what they couldn't live without. Fellow baseball player Manny Machado mentioned his cologne, his watch, his family, and McDonald's McNuggets? Former UFC champ Israel Adesanya shared his AirPods, lip balm, and jewelry. NBA player Tyrese Halliburton listed his Bible, Xbox, and his watches. Shohei Ohtani, true to his nature, listed only items necessary to play baseball or improve his performance, including a custom pillow, his iPad for checking his stats, his icing machine, his bat, and his glove. Only things that would help him win. Finally, look back before this season when he got that historic 10-year, $700 million contract he signed. It was the biggest contract in history. But did you know that he's only making $2 million a year throughout that span? Making a paltry $20 million for this decade and deferring 97% of his salary for the next decade? Why would he do that? Once again, to win. With that massive contract deferral, the Dodgers were able to go after Shohei's friend and fellow Japanese pitcher, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His sacrifice allowed them to sign Yamamoto to a 12-year, $325 million deal. Shohei's belief is Yamamoto will help him win. When he finally reached the 50-50 milestone, Shohei said he was glad he got it over with. Just those words reflect the inevitability of the achievement in his mind, signaling again that he's not at all impressed. With the pressure and expectation over, and with the Dodgers in the playoffs, Shohei took a moment to enjoy some champagne. According to MLB Network, Shohei has played the most regular season games without a postseason appearance, with 865. With this drought finally at an end, no doubt his focus now turns to winning a World Series. So now you know why 50-50 is nothing special to Shohei Ohtani. He's thinking about getting back to pitching, winning another MVP, and becoming a perpetual champion. If you think I mispronounced Shohei Ohtani's name, you're wrong. I'm Japanese American and I speak Japanese, so I would know. But if you like this video, look out for another video about how Shohei was robbed. See you next time.